I mean, they were talking $50 million.
Yeah.
And that was that.
You start big, you know, you dream big and then you get down to reality. This is what.
Right,
I'm
the
doing.
thing that's happened, the thing that's happened to us on this was 3 years ago. We should have went ahead instead of being held up,
Right.
because we would have been
Done.
pretty much
Yeah.
at about half of what it's gonna cost you now.
Now, when we're talking, the cost, our debt exclusion for the school comes to an end this year sometime.
Yeah.
Okay, so once that's done, once that's done, we'll be eligible for another debt exclusion.
We did have a debt exclusion anytime,
Yeah, but I mean, you know,
because
we're from,
if you remember right, when we bought the engine one that we have now.
Yeah.
I lost it the first time and come back, and the council made it go after a debt exclusion, we got it.
Yeah.
Well, right after that, they did something else, and right after that, they did something else after that first debt exclusion.
but that $45 million debt exclusion, that's, you know, I would like to see that gone over our heads when we do this.
I'd like to see you ever come up with that under the roller, it's gonna roll his flag down.
Yeah. I just feel a little bit tech on material. Money's going up.
Now, where are we? I know I should be waiting to ask these questions during an open meeting, but where are we as far as a start to get on the highway department? What, do we have a date to start on the highway department?
Hopefully down.
Yeah,
No.
because I know we were talking.
Oh, but thank you, better. I
sometime in-
got a haircut.
I'm hoping for August.
Before you get too serious, I got something
Uh-oh.
up by where Joanne lives.
Yeah.
Years ago, we had just bought the front end loader for the town. We had that 45 Michigan. We went the whole length of that flat down by her house, the Christmas tree farm, and we cut all the brush. And I was pushing it down the road, making a brush pile. We started it in the morning, it wouldn't go. And we were looking at it and said, well, what the hell are we gonna do now? So we stopped.
Let's not be plugged in over there.
That's why all this gets unplugged.
I'll do. Why?
How are you?
This thing?
Other than frozen.
Other than frozen, I'll stop messing with us in there.
No.
Yeah, how'd that go? Oops, this damn thing.
She's for the gym. For the gym.
Oh, are you really?
Oh, cool. Yeah. Hi, and my house. No, I know. This is a privilege.
Yeah.
No, because I don't need a party in there. Oh, do I need?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not in yet.
Oh.
Christopher, do you see me joining? You see me?
Yeah, I see on here.
Did you let me in? Will you let me in? Thank you.
Sorry about that. Yeah, you're welcome in.
All right, got it. There we go. Okay. What time is it? Oh, 6:02. We're already late. All right, 6:02, open the meeting. We have previous meeting minutes to look at. We do. Do we?
No.
No, we don't. Just kidding. We do not.
Starting to work on it.
Okay, so motion to table meeting minutes of March 14th and 21st.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Audience participation? Seeing none. Department reports. Come on down, Dave.
We have March 14th. Did we already look at that?
Oh, do you want us to do March 14th? Oh, that, or is that the old one that we signed?
No, you already signed that and I shredded it.
So you just need to
That's
sign
what's
that.
Going into the shredder, I saw your
Signatures.
It's an accident.
Well, did you get the master copy?
But
or
the
this
motion
one?
had-
No, she wants that one
Okay.
signed. I
All
think
right.
I signed it already.
Yes, you did.
You got a pen? You need mine?
Yeah, somewhere here.
All right, Dave, what do you got for us?
I'll give you an update on my excursion with the Springfield watershed and sewer.
Yeah,
The GID, you?
yep.
know?
Oh, we got the fancy one.
Yes, you did. You asked about kiosks.
Mhm. Yeah, what,
What they are is it's information board. It's gonna be 2 by 3.
Okay.
6 square feet roughly. And if you look on the top left-hand corner, it's the proposed conservation area,
mm-hmm,
that's up by Lincoln. by the
Okay.
line.
Mhm.
Just before that, there's a road to the right at the power, the power
Yeah,
lines.
mm-hmm,
That's a conservation area, and they want to turn it into a hunting area, hiking, sightseeing, so they can walk around.
mm-hmm, okay,
Dick Cage was with me also on that. Also, the other one is on Gibbs Road.
mm-hmm,
If you don't know where the water problem is, if you're going towards 23, it's just on the hill on the left-hand side, it's totally a lot.
okay,
And they want to do the same thing, their sign up there. You can walk and all that stuff.
mm-hmm,
They also asked for a curb cut, so we can do a little 2 or 3 car parking area up there on that.
are they maintaining trails or
No, just walking.
just at your own risk? Okay,
Yeah. We go on to Blair Road. Up past. What's the cemetery? On the right hand side, gate 30.
okay,
What they want to do is they're gonna put the gate up, and they want to stockpile material there,
mm-hmm,
so they can take it and work on the roads with it.
okay,
That's all they're gonna do with that right there.
You're talking about Springfield Water?
Whoop.
Yes,
correct.
And that's past the cemetery?
I believe so.
Yeah, is
sounds
that,
like Jethro Jones Road, isn't it?
Somewhat. This one here,
Yes,
Jethro Jones was below the
No, it's
cemetery?
right at the cemetery, yeah.
from North Blanford.
From North Blanford Road.
Yeah.
down-
Where the old church is, you take the left.
Yeah, you know where the old, yeah, that little
But I
shack
didn't know
is?
whether.
Yeah.
That old shack right there on the left hand side?
Yeah.
Right across, there's gate 30.
Okay,
They want to stockpile material there. There's another one, another proposed conservation area on North Blanford, which I never knew was anything there. That's the discussion because there's a lot of water runoff on that. So they're gonna think about it.
Okay.
They were gonna put a kiosk there, but they're not sure
okay,
if they are, it's just gonna be that, be no parking probably. Then you come down to Herrick Road. That's Dick Gates' house,
mm-hmm,
through the gate, down to there's a Y section down there.
mm-hmm,
They want to stockpile material there,
hmm,
so they can move it around, because they're gonna redo from the gate to that section, and they're gonna keep on going down the road, I believe. And then the last one is on South Street. They're gonna do some more logging down there
mm-hmm,
coming up. So,
so these are all the proposed ones that they had, that we signed for?
all of them except for South Street, that's not an IGA one. It's just logging.
okay,
So when we were all done talking, I handed Nicole the new bylaw for our bonded roads and all that.
Mm-hmm,
And I handed it to her, I says, you may want to see council on this, so.
okay. Any discussion on Gibbs Road at all, or no?
No,
Okay,
that won't happen until tomorrow.
okay,
that part,
So it seems like they are hearing us a little bit
yes.
in terms of the recreation.
Mhm.
So we're moving in the right direction, I
It would
think.
Be nice if it was more of it.
Correct. I think it was like, let's give them a kiosk.
Yeah, yeah. We'll give them 2 or 3 of them.
Let's make a couple of signs,
Yeah.
which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, we should just, maybe we'll continue to move in that direction.
Yes. Got update on the truck. The fuel filter was clogged, some of the lines had debris in it. We cleared the codes. He's taking a long ride with it this afternoon. And then tomorrow morning, he's gonna take another ride. I asked him, I go, well, what about the lemon law? He says, lemon laws usually last about a year. I go, okay, what's Matt gonna do if it keeps coming back?
Yeah,
He says, I will discuss it with them. And the trucks get ready to leave. I said, okay, but I'm gonna tell them. When the truck leaves and you have a definite word from Mac, I want all that you said in writing from Mac.
correct. Yeah,
Because I don't want to come back in 6 months and stating that it had the same problem over and over.
yeah.
Right.
Did our attorney validate
No,
that?
I
Is he,
don't have a number for K and P,
okay.
so.
Will you, Joanne, will you get that to Dave, the KP?
Yep.
Thank you.
I also have a call in DOT about the curb cut on 23 where the roads are,
Okay,
to see what their plans are in the future for some kind of traffic control
thank you.
on that. Yes, the project for North Blanford. Clinton County wants to know if we want to pay for piece detail or have the contractor pay for it.
It's all coming out of the grant.
And it would, but it might be better off if we were to pay for it because they can get crazy with it. And
Okay, so we can manage it more, you think?
yes,
And then we'll be reimbursed through the grant?
that would come out of our own pockets.
So-
The town would pay for that for it.
Okay, so is there not enough grant funding to cover the whole thing? Is that,
No, it's. If it's in the grant,
yeah,
we can say that town would pay for it.
yeah,
I clarify, but if we do it with them, if we do it with, contractor,
mhm,
they could be using police officer every single day to be, just wasting out.
sure. So if we do it ourselves, we can manage the time better, but it's still coming under grant funded.
I'll ask for it tomorrow.
Because I would think because we applied for the grant, it included police detail, didn't it? I'm pretty sure it
Yeah,
did.
it does.
Yeah,
It does.
so if we just say, listen, we're gonna manage that, I wonder if we can do that and still be refunded.
What project are you talking about?
Worth that.
Hey. Is it possible to close that road from 7 to 5 every day? And not have to use police officers at all?
Unless it's an emergency. So why- I would like to.
Yeah, so would I, could save you a pile of money.
I mean, we have Gore Road for through traffic, we just be for residents, maybe?
Fuel trucks, buses, everything else.
Oh, and they can't do Gore Road because of the bridge? Yeah. Okay.
I also received this from India and Alan. It's the agreement between us and the council. It's $1,900 for they put the whole package together. The bid package.
Mhm.
Okay. read it. There's a couple spots where it's signed in the back, the select board.
Could you give me more information here? Agreement with
So Franklin Regional,
FERCog
Yeah,
for
that's, you get a big savings by going through there.
bid, for fuel bidding.
No, for.
He can buy stuff under their good.
So you have to do baby talking.
so it's
This stuff is.
FERCog and it's for North Blanford Road Improvement Project, Mass Works Grant Funded Work. So they helped put all the paperwork together for the grant and they're asking us, we're now,
Well, yeah, they're in
Oh,
the
no.
process of it. yes.
okay. Okay, have our attorneys looked at this?
No, I just got it today.
Okay, so we'll send it through our attorneys and then we can, once we hear back from them, we'll sign it next week.
Okay,
Do you have a digital copy?
yes.
Okay, if you can send it to Joanne, she can get it to,
Okay.
thank you.
Yep.
So we can put that on action item for next week, the FERCog.
That's it. Road is looking good. You guys are keeping busy. James is still in Florida. He'll be back-
Okay.
he'll be back this weekend.
Good. I hope he's getting some warm
You
weather.
go to Disney?
Yes.
Oh, good,
Yes.
nice.
So if you want some. work time.
Okay, okay. I don't think I have any other road questions.
The water and sewer stuff.
Mary, I'll give you mine, but it's not in color.
She wants cold.
Your pants.
Thank you. Thank you. You're so helpful.
So now would probably be a good time to talk about Tom's question about feasibility study for the building site.
Well, we met, this was our second meeting with our new architect and engineering firm. And we seem to be progressing with these people, not just sitting there spinning our wheels. So with progress means we're looking for money, I'm sorry to say, but
All right,
for everybody's information, we want to do a feasibility study. And part of that, well, the cost of that is $32,000. And that also covers test borings up at the highway garage, new highway site. And around the present for hazardous materials. I don't believe we're gonna have a problem there, but it's gotta be done. Also, to bring the present highway building up to the proper codes for a fire station, first responder building, they're not sure they can do it with that present building.
so do we have money in the building? I guess the question would be the
so.
building stabilization fund for this.
I believe so, yes.
So that is a town meeting. I think we could do that at annual, because that's,
Well, is there gonna be a special town meeting coming up?
we weren't planning on it. Christopher had done some work with Sarah and I think Christopher, last you said we looked like we did not have to do a special.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Doris. She said we weren't planning on it. Sarah said, okay, that's fine. None of my stuff has to get done before June, so.
Right,
Yeah, we
well,
weren't planning on it.
I'll have to call tomorrow and tell them that we can transfer, but it's gotta be done at the annual town meeting.
Yeah, so we would have to wait till
and
June.
See what that's gonna do to our schedule of things.
So I guess the other thing we would need would be, just something more formal written up about, the cost. And
Yeah,
what
we'll
exactly-
get a proposal ready
Perfect.
for it, but
Okay,
we were under the impression that there was money that the selectmen could earmark for that.
I mean, I don't know if it's possible to spend out of another fund and then move, but I feel like we've gotten ourselves caught in this before, where we've done something before we've asked the town to move the money out of stabilization, and then there was that frustration of, well, you just, do you know what I mean? Like, well, you didn't, you just spent the money already, and now we're just doing
All right,
paperwork,
but
you know?
that means that we're held up until June.
We can ask finance if they have any ideas.
All right, how do I get a hold of finance?
Joanne can wrangle them up for you.
I can help you. They're having meetings this week.
Hmm?
They're having meetings this week, Wednesday and Thursday.
All right, I'll stop in tomorrow and talk with
Yeah.
you.
They might have
I'm
some more
gonna be-
ideas.
You'll
I'm
be,
starting to take Tuesday off instead of Wednesday, so I can work with Christopher on Wednesday and Thursday, so. I'm
So
off
you
tomorrow.
won't be
I'm
here
starting
tomorrow?
to back up a little bit. What?
you won't be here?
No, but I'll be here Wednesday.
All right, I'll talk to you Wednesday then.
Yes, Mary.
Oh, so we're talking about needing money for the firehouse to be rehabbed,
It's a feasibility study.
a feasibility study.
For the highway, the old highway garage to be, to see if it works to have a
Rehabilitated as a fire
fire.
EMS facility,
That's the $32,000.
yes.
Okay, so is that supposed to cover the test borings
Correct.
up there and everything?
Yeah, well, yeah, part of it'll be going up where the new highway garage is going. Because they're gonna do some test borings and test digging up there too.
Both places.
So
Okay.
I did read somewhere that a local town was paying for something with some free cash. So I don't know if we can use that. That's one thing we need to find out, because if we want to spend some free cash on that, and then, I mean, God knows we're gonna need the building stabilization fund to pay for things other than just the feasibility study. We could look at moving faster and using free cash. It's just gonna be a question of
Alright,
how
so-
exactly that works.
Well, I'll talk with Joanne Wednesday. And I'll get some information about who to talk to and how to talk to and whatever.
Okay,
And come back this coming next meeting
okay.
with the information.
Christopher, can you find out for us if we can start spending free cash and what the process looks like?
Yeah, yep, I'll talk to somebody at DLS about that.
Thank you. As far as hazardous materials go, do you remember years ago when we had to do something at that highway garage?
Yeah, when they took the pump out at the present highway garage,
So it should be completely
should be, but-
cleaned.
it should be, but until they take that little core sample out of the ground and analyze it.
So if
maybe-
it's not though, maybe
Then
we could go
there's-
back and try to seek something from
Yeah,
that work if it's not too
yeah.
long ago. I don't know.
But anyhow, I keep reiterating to them that that was done, but they still want to do the test. bore.
Understand. Okay,
It's all part of the program, I guess.
okay.
Now, behind the old highway garage, there's some manholes that are there.
That's septic system.
That's
and
the
grease
septic
trap,
system?
and the grease trap.
Okay, all right,
And the grease trap is new enough, so they're gonna use it.
okay.
Whenever you park the equipment in a garage and there's a drainage system, you have to have an oil water separator, and the oil goes into the grease trap,
Makes sense.
and it's pumped out periodically and taken away.
Okay. All right, okay, so we have a plan for that. Are there any other department things? No? All right. Action item, I'd make a motion to approve warrant number 20. Is there a second?
Second,
Any discussion?
which warrant number 20?
The one we signed. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Do we have any unfinished business from prior meetings? Mary?
You've got the Full Circle Technologies invoice.
She's gonna talk about that.
Who is?
She's.
Oh,
I am.
okay.
Supplies.
Here you go. I don't think I actually have a paper. You guys have a paper copy.
I have
I
it.
sent-
Oh, you
I
sent
you
it.
an email this
I
time.
got it. I
Wait a
got,
minute, did I even send you? Oh,
no, you
I
sent me the
didn't.
town administrator report.
No, sorry, I never sent it.
I'll share it with you.
Thank you.
Oh, I need a copy of that too. The invoice.
No, the report.
the report.
Where the hell did we get a dog that cost $3,800?
His contract.
No, he's telling report. What is report?
Oh,
to the
that's-
board?
The town administrator report. I have a copy here.
I don't know what she's talking about.
The town administrator report.
Oh, you know what, Joanne? I think Christopher sent it at like 10 of, so you were down here setting up. Do you mind printing one for me? Let me just see if it's CC'd to
You can
you.
have mine.
No, I want to
Oh.
make sure you have one. So
Oh.
we need two printed. Joanne, I'm gonna send it to you. I think he sent it to you anyways, but I'm
I
gonna just,
probably have it. I'll go look.
I'm sending it to Jay Martin.
What is this?
Me too.
Okay. All right, so what I have in front of me is the, so we have an invoice for $2,864 for 40% of the one-time cost. So this is half of the invoice for connection program to communities assessor database. And then the other perhaps, so that's 1,400, and the other one is 40% of the one-time cost. The first beta site for development module for permits. So this is actually half of, or less than half of a bill. So Mary, can you explain what this is exactly?
Several years ago, I brought full circle to Josh's attention, and he was already involved with them for permit eyes.
Got it, yep.
And I said, we really want to have this in the town clerk office for dog tags.
Mhm.
It will eliminate an awful lot of paperwork and make life easier in general.
Mhm.
So it didn't happen for 2 or 3 years until last year. He said, it's okay, it's a go, we're gonna do it. And he had full circle get in touch with Doris and me, and we went through what is our application gonna look like
Okay.
and all that stuff. And as far as we were concerned, we'd had a green light and funding was assured and everything was okay.
So it
So
looks
this
like,
is a surprise.
so it looks like it's gonna be like almost 6,000, and do we know where it's coming from? I just wanna see if I heard back.
It wasn't gonna come out of our budget, I can tell you that right now. Who covers the rest of the permitting stuff? It's gotta be a town expenditure.
I don't know, let me see if it's in our budget stuff. Oops. Oh, thank you. I don't know if, well, it probably wouldn't be broken down in here. If it comes out of the independent, like plumbing and business, thank you. Building.
I'm not old for that.
Do you know, Joanne, how we typically bill, or have billed when we were working on moving the permit stuff to online for like the building department? Do you know where we took that funding from?
Ask me that question again.
Sorry, do you remember, I think it was last year,
Okay.
and we were starting, I thought we had some sort of grant process for the startup. We were moving all of our permitting online from
Right.
building and
I don't
plumbing.
believe it was a grant.
I thought that, okay, maybe it wasn't, but I remember that we started the process. Do you remember where we were taking those funds out of?
No.
Okay, so I guess that's what we need to figure out before we can figure out.
Right. The invoice just showed up.
Yeah,
I guess, I don't know if Doris or somebody, and that I just asked, what is this, where's the money coming from? And she didn't know any of it, said, well, Josh. took it."
okay,
I don't know that Josh took it one step like that. Took it that far, because I remember a conversation about, yes, we're doing permit eyes, but we're not gonna do the dogs right now.
I remember that happening, and we were holding off on stuff.
So we just have to
Yeah.
find out where's the funding coming from. from.
And this is only
Before they install it.
40%. So it's really more like 3,200.
32 or 36, something like that.
Yeah.
Today. So, and it's a crunch because they want it to open up on April 1st.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's possible at this point.
So I'm looking at the budget.
Yeah.
And it looks like we have a line item from FY22 that says managed support Office 365 licenses and permitting. Is that possibly it's under operations support.
How much is in there, Christopher?
Well, so budgeted for FY22 was 57,000.
Okay.
What page is that on, Chris?
Do you know
It's I can give you the line item. Are you looking at the all department report?
all department report? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to track it down. Hold on.
That sounds like, what sounds logical?
Yeah.
Okay, I wonder if I can do it. Fancy. Nope.
Okay, yeah, so it's on page 3.
Page 3.
Yeah, page 3. Hold on, let me make sure I'm looking at the most recent one. Yeah, page 3. There's an external IT support computer soft line
Okay.
under total Concom planning zoning. So I don't know if that sounds like it might be referring to some permitting around solar and et cetera, and maybe
So
not this stuff.
That one it has 10,000 left. So we also get our IT support out of that line. So like if anything happens here at town hall, we go to that for like, you know, any IT support, like I think like what Steve's doing for us now.
And I think the bill is like 1,600 a month.
And we pay 1,600 a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how many months we have left?
We've got, what month is it?
June.
April, May, June. We've got 3 months left. So
it's
that's
three,
like five.
almost
Yeah.
$5,000.
There's not enough in there.
So it was a tight budget then. And we've used some of it because for licenses, for more licenses, because people can't get their email without these licenses, so we just.
We've had to add some. Okay. And if we add the Zoom, if we end up adding the Zoom, just FYI, that'll increase that budget next year too. If we add another license in there. All right, so I guess we need to find out where we paid for the permit set up for building. And they should be able to find that if they just look up full circle through accounting.
Yeah.
They should be able to find that. So the question would be where we found that, how much we paid for it. Because I would just like to compare and see. And then, I mean, how many, Mary, how many dog licenses do we do a year that, you know, that you feel like?
If everybody who's supposed to have one
Mhm.
does it, we should have around 300
Okay, and what do we typically have?
in the neighborhood of 250. A couple of kennels.
We typically have about 200. Okay, 200, 250. Okay. All right, I mean, obviously, I'd love to have everything digital. I think that it's easier and streamlined, so we'll just have to see where the funding, see where we get paid last time, how much we paid, and I guess we'll go
And
from there.
what's nice about this program is that it will automatically generate, you haven't registered your dog yet, we've got your rabies certificate,
Okay,
send us
Whatever.
your license, go to this link.
and I guess the other question would be what the yearly cost is, so that we can budget that going forward, would be another thing we'd have to find out. If there's a yearly cost to maintain it?
I don't believe there is for permit.
No, okay, so it's just a one-time,
I don't think there wouldn't be an ongoing cost for that, is there?
I don't know.
There isn't for permit unless somebody's paying, somebody else is paying for it.
okay.
I don't think so. I think if there was a bill, I would.
Because if there was, we would probably want to build it into town clerk budget
Yeah.
going forward, you know? Okay, so we can put it on an action item for next week, I guess?
I don't think it can wait until next week. Right, Mary?
I'm sorry.
We can't wait until next week. They want to go live
We
on
were
Friday.
hoping to go live April
Friday,
1st,
yeah.
but we haven't sent out notification yet, so
Okay,
first is Friday.
Friday, yeah.
I might have to wait until the third-ish.
Okay.
Right.
It's not that bad.
Did you want to talk to Doris about it? She's here.
Yeah,
She can talk.
I was just gonna offer to go get her.
Yeah, sure, if she knows any
Okay.
more. We're also gonna go up in our budget with the dog, the animal inspector. Remember, because Terry's gonna add. I feel like every time I have a conversation with someone, it's about adding money to the budget. It's making me anxious.
Is Terry going?
He's don't want to talk to anybody.
I think so. I did see Josh this weekend and I reiterated how cheap he was with the microwave. And he appreciated that, didn't he? Or was it this weekend or the weekend before? Was it this week? I can't remember. Week, it was during the week. He stood by his decision to make y'all get a used microwave though. Hey Doris. Hi. We just had a couple questions on the, do you know if the dog permitting thing is a yearly cost? Or is this just the one-time cost and then it's done?
Oh, no, it's a yearly cost. I should have brought the paperwork.
Okay,
It's like 3,000 and something for the first
the
initial
initial,
installment. and
yeah.
I believe it's 1,800
1,800 a year.
a year.
Okay. I wonder what we pay yearly for the plumbing and stuff if we do.
I don't know. Why am I not seeing a bill for that? I don't understand.
It must be going straight to the building and the plumbing, but I hope they know to be
No, but
building
all
into their.
bills Come through my desk.
Oh, that's true.
Every other Thursday, I see every single bill.
And this is the same company?
Yeah. It's also the same company the tax collector uses.
To do all their stuff online.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's Perma Eyes and of course Unipay.
Okay.
I'll ask that question.
So we'll just need to make sure we build that into your budget, Doris. I don't know if we do a separate line item for that. in
I
town
don't
clerk.
know. All Josh said was I wasn't gonna come out of my budget, that the
Okay.
town was gonna take care of it.
So next year, I mean, we can talk about it with Sarah and Eric and what they think is best, but
Okay.
next year, if we're looking at your budget, we might want to build in that 1,800 as a line item, just so that it's clear.
Okay,
And then I would do like permitting,
right.
you know, online permitting or whatever.
I'll ask the county if we pay for permit eyes. I've never seen anything.
Okay,
Right, and I don't know if there's a fee for using Unibank or Unipay either. I
Oh,
don't
yeah, we
think
should-
so.
Oh, good question.
I don't know.
yeah, there might be.
We use Unipay for permanent.
Yeah,
Correct. And so the tax collector has Unipay and Unibank too. That's what she uses.
This is becoming a Sarah question, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
And then if that becomes a thing, then that would just be, I would assume that would be one bill that the town pays, because otherwise you're dividing up one bill and it becomes very confusing.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's not gonna happen Friday.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be able to go live, but
Oh, no, I already talked to him and told him that,
Okay.
no, we're going to, I'll let you know how it
Okay.
comes out. So, yeah, so no, it won't be.
okay, so we're gonna put it on next week's agenda.
Okay,
Once we have answered some more questions and, you know, about funding and whatnot, then we'll have more information for Monday.
yeah, that's, and I can also bring the paperwork that I
Okay.
have for it
Okay,
as well.
okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
thanks. Yeah, no problem. Yes, thank you.
All right. Next up, we have new business, the town administrator report. So we all have paper copies and I have a digital copy.
All right, I'll share my screen all the same, but
All right.
might not be necessary. And I apologize, I'm getting over a little bug, so I'm kind of got a little hoarse here.
Y'all verklempt.
A little verklempt, yeah, that's right. What is that? Is that like an SNL skit? Anyway, I can't.
All verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, yeah, okay, now I remember. Rhode Island, neither a road nor an island. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so getting to the report. So budget-wise, so we're wrapping up our budget request meetings this week on Wednesday. Actually, frankly, Joanne, I'm a little behind on which ones we're holding on Wednesday, and which are Thursday. But we've got
Just left, so she can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, this week we've got highway, treasurer, town clerk, assessors, board of health, and the library. And we're still trying to figure out a time when we can schedule with the two enterprise funds, water, and municipal light board. And of course, this is the first year that the municipal light board will actually have a set budget. So yeah,
Okay.
That'll take a little bit of time. In other budget news, is people probably saw Gateway pass their alternative budget. So that means the assessment for Blandford should be 1.5 million. So that's, for us, that's 2% more than what the statutory would have been. However, or it's 2%, it's 4% more rather than what the statutory would have been. But of course, so this way, all the 6 towns absorb the same increase. Previously, I think it was us and Middlefield had decrease, and a bunch of the other towns had massive increases. So this kind of leveled it out. So happy to provide more information on that.
I was just looking to see what we paid last year in the school budget, just out of curiosity. Which line item is the school? All right, Gateway Regional School. So it's actually down from last year.
Right, we approved
Yeah.
1.64 last year, so.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
So that's what I remember, is it was gonna go down even further, but we're being good neighbors.
That's right. And we got to talk a little bit more about that education stabilization fund that Chester has.
Yeah.
When they visited, so that idea is still out there, could be something to consider.
So the other thing to think about is if that alternative does not pass in one town, then we automatically go back to the statutory. So we will go forward with our budget, you create the budget and you create this higher amount, but there is a little bit of room there. And then I think what we have to do, Christopher, you can check with Chester to see how they word it exactly on their annual town meeting, but we have to have both numbers on there just in case. So then we don't have to go back to annual town meeting if one town like votes it down or whatever.
Right, yep.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
Sure. So moving on to grants. So this Collins Center grant has been discussed a lot recently. So we had them do a compensation and classification review, so we kind of understand where we stand with salaries and wages compared to other communities around here. I spoke with Mary from the Collins Center this week. She seemed to think we should have all the final deliverables for that. I did a little digging through Caleb's email and found what I believe is the final report with all the final position descriptions as well. So I'm just going to check in with Mary this week. We had a scheduled call on Friday. So hopefully we do have everything we need. There might be a little bit of cleaning up in terms of typos and stuff that they need to do on their end. But then we should have that final report and we can distribute it and discuss it. And I know it's much anticipated, so glad it's found. And additionally, I spoke with the Division of Local Services and got an extension for the Community Compact grant to do the capital improvement plan with the Collins Center. So we should have until January to get that done as well.
Okay.
In terms of green communities, of course, we mentioned that in the police budget, Tammy was looking to get a hybrid patrol vehicle. So spoke with Kathy about that. We're going to look into it and see if we can't get together some kind of joint application for that hybrid vehicle. Also, Gordon mentioned that they're interested in trying to reduce their electricity over at the water filtration plant. So he wants to kind of explore some kind of option with respect to solar.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about either having some kind of photovoltaic panels on the roof of that facility or, building something in a nearby field. So we'll have to look into that a little bit further.
They actually get struck by lightning quite often. I don't know how many times the building's been struck, but
can we turn that into energy somehow?
Whenever I used to talk about solar panels, they would tell me, "Oh, we can't do that because the building is like a lightning rod." So if they a water plant,
The filter plant?
yeah, on Long Pond.
Well, when they bring it up again, ask them if something can be done to ground it.
Yeah, I think they had done something. This is coming from Lavacus, so this is way back.
Yeah, okay.
But I do, yeah, okay.
That kind of explains a lot.
But talk to the solar people about it. that
Yeah,
it
they
is-
might have some
And
ideas.
they might be able to ground that system so that it will suck it right down into the ground and not hurt it.
Because they use a ton of electricity, so that would be great if we can reduce it. Did you have a question, Mary?
No,
Nope.
I just know the electricity bills have mushroomed.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
That's all right. I don't use it down in my big garage and it went up.
It's crazy. I know. Depressing. All right.
Yeah, and we should be aware, so later on, I'll mention there's a request from a solar company. It's kind of near Long Pond that they're looking, so I don't know if they have in mind a parcel that Gordon had in mind for some kind of solar farm, so we'll just have to be aware of that. In terms of other grant stuff, the ADA transition plan, I forwarded that on to PVPC, so they should be finishing up that draft RFP and issuing that. So we should be getting some proposals from consultants who want to do that for us.
Okay, thank you.
And then the Dlta water project, looking at kind of shared services between our water department and Chester. We have a meeting this week and we should be getting a draft scope from PVPC. So we'll see what that looks like as well.
We have a question from Dave first. Dave, did you?
You were talking about the water department trying to do solar out there.
Yeah,
I'd like to possibly do solar on the new.
on New Highway
department
too.
also.
Okay,
So maybe if we can get together and coordinate something, we can all talk about
okay. We also do have the Green Community Grant works that we do something yearly. Is that right, Christopher? So we have opportunities, I think, every year to apply for.
Yeah, and there's 2 rounds. So there's a round in the spring and there's a round in the fall. I believe a community can only get funding for one of those rounds.
Okay,
But, so we'll, yeah, so between those solar projects and Tammy's patrol vehicle, we should figure out what we want to prioritize there.
cool. Thank you. Mary, do you have a question?
When is the meeting with PVPC about the shared services with the water department?
It is the 30th at 5 o'clock.
Where?
Zoom. Are we meeting in person anywhere, Christopher, or just via Zoom?
I think it's just Zoom for now, yeah. Moving on to procurement items. So last week, we submitted a survey back to FERCog. So be trying to get, latch onto their collective bidding process for heating oil, diesel, and gasoline. So appreciated Dave and John's help tracking down all the information about all the tank sizes and whatnot. So hopefully, that'll help us reduce these ridiculous fuel bills, but we'll see. In terms of vocational education, Kathy Warden from Chester is just collecting information from towns that want to participate in the vocational education transportation bid. So I think we've generally done that.
Yeah.
So that's how we get Lekrunsky Brothers, and yeah, okay. So I will get back to her with a response on Monday.
Thank you.
So we should be all set with that. In terms of ongoing issues, so Bellfleur, so the host community agreement has been sent back to the town council with the updates from our previous meetings. We've also got, Dick Gates came and saw me and said that unfortunately the Conservation Commission is gonna have to issue an enforcement order. Basically, Bellfleur isn't really keeping up with their end of the deal in terms of making sure there isn't, erosion and runoff from that site while it's stripped of vegetation. So they're gonna issue an order to force them to comply. So just something to be aware of.
Okay, thank you.
And then Hampden County Retirement Funds recovery suit. I checked in with Kathy about this because we were going to see if Chester was was willing to join this legal, fight to get some of these funds back. They still haven't made a decision, so they should be meeting about that tonight.
Okay.
Based on the fact that only a couple other communities have gone in with Longmeadow on it, I'm kind of hesitant to pursue it too much further. And it's been a little bit tricky tracking down exactly how much money Blandford would be owed to begin with.
Yeah.
So we'll just see what Chester does, but my inclination is probably not to join that.
Yeah, I would definitely be hesitant to enter into a lawsuit right now.
Mhm.
If we could get into something that could cost us more than we'd ever get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long, uncertain process. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then last item here, so North Blandford. So I had a gentleman from Competitive Solar Ventures reach out last week. They're interested in acquiring some right-of-way across a town-owned property to be able to connect what will be, or if they're successful, what will be a solar farm to a transmission line along North Blandford Road. So the town-owned property, people might be familiar with it. It's like 70 acres on the south side of North Blandford Road. There's a Google photo of, there's a tiny private property kind of in the middle of this giant town-owned property. That house is what that looks like. So I don't know if people are familiar with that on North Blandford Road, but that's where the site is.
I think that's past the village, right? Before the pond there. Is that way down?
Is that which one?
It looks like the, it looks like,
Kind of looks like it, but there's no barns or anything.
like across from the house that burned down and got rebuilt, like diagonal from that is where I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's
That
up the
would be our
road.
Yeah.
Lyman's.
That's our Wyman's house.
I think we're from this,
Rock Ledge Farm.
yeah, I think from this view, you're just maybe not seeing the garage on the other side there.
Oh, I don't see any of the, he has quite a bunch of quarry rock around that,
Mhm.
and there's none shown here.
So they're looking to purchase town land.
No, I don't think they want to purchase it.
They were on the right of way.
Oh, they want to right away through
Yeah.
town land to put a solar farm up
Well, transmission line from the solar farm to the power lines on North Blanford Road. They want to tie it in and they
Mhm.
want to right away across that property to do it.
Mhm.
Now, let me ask a question here. I may not be up to speed, but now that, yeah, I know, but anyhow, when the power lines that they just put in for that solar system down at the end of Gore Road on North Blanford Road, this is going to be further out, so they're going to have to put additional lines going out.
That's gonna be the power company's problem.
Yeah, well, if we're paving that road, it becomes our problem.
No, because Dave can make them put their poles back away
Yeah,
and they can sit with the digger derrick and reach out 15 feet or better to drill.
yeah.
So I don't think it would be a problem.
Joanne, question?
I just spoke to Mike from planning today, and he said, I told him there was a new request. And he said that it's mostly Eversource that's holding things up because there's not enough power up here. So
Okay.
we have 2 solar fields right now that they keep asking for extensions because Eversource is not getting to them. So this company will probably be in the same boat.
Yeah, we may not ever see it.
Is the moratorium over on solar?
It's over, yeah, it was over.
Like a
in
year ago or
July or
something.
something. Quite a while ago, but,
So what's the next step, Christopher? Do they do like some sort of like a hearing with residents or?
Yeah, so I've looped in Dick Gates and Mike and Paul. So I'll check in with them on, how we generally proceed with these kind of requests.
Okay,
I'll also just let Gordon know, just because it is kind of in the water department's backyard there. And like I said, I know he had his eyes on some of those areas for solar and stuff. So, but yeah, so I'll check back in with them and give you an update next week when we know a little bit more.
if it ends up being a hearing situation, we call it the village. There's a tight little community that lives in that area. And I would envision that it would be a concern. So-
Gotcha. And are you referring to North Blanford here or to somewhere
Yes,
else? Yeah.
you can't see where I'm pointing, but do you see where all those lots are sort of close together there?
Yeah.
There's, they call it the village, but there's like, I don't know, a village for us is like 8 houses maybe. But they're a tight knit community and I know that they band together when they've had issues in that area before. So I would imagine that there would be some concern about a solar field, so.
Yeah, and I will say, the solar company hasn't let me know which actual parcel they were thinking of developing.
Okay.
Based on the fact that they need a right of way across this property to a transmission line that's on this road, I assume it's something down here near the pond.
Yeah,
But I don't know yet. They haven't actually provided that information. So
okay.
Now, are they in the process of buying the land, leasing the land, or?
they haven't said.
Okay,
I think they already own it, Chief.
yeah,
Where do you want it?
Yeah, I think it has something to do with all lumber.
Mm,
all right.
Okay,
Dave,
Yes,
oh, sorry.
that house that you just had up there,
Mm-hmm,
it looks like that little house on the left-hand side that has a little farm,
yeah,
isn't it? If you're going towards Otis on the left-hand side.
if you're going towards Otis, it's on the right.
Oh.
It's just past the little farm, I
Yeah,
think, with the
there's
horse,
the
yeah,
lots and all that stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Mary?
Correct me if I'm wrong. The transmission lines that are on North Blanford Road are not, big enough, heavy enough, strong enough to support the influx of additional electricity?
I think that's it, because up on Chester Road, where that big one is, they had to do a lot of changeovers all the way down to Huntington Road
Yeah,
to be able to carry the extra power. The same thing that they did at the lower end of Gore Road, and they'd probably have to do the same thing out there. I haven't seen them doing a lot of improvements out there at the town line at that one, but
Yeah.
maybe those were heavy enough to start with.
All right. Do we have any other, that's your report, right? we got to the end.
Yeah, that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Do you have any other new business? Or, yeah, any other new business or other business? All right, then I'll make a motion to go into executive session, in accordance with GLC 30A, section 21A2, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation. If an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the government's bargaining or litigation position.
Second.
Roll call vote, oh, not to reconvene. Roll call vote, Kara says yes.
Tom says yes.
TJ says yes.
All right,
Thank you, gentlemen.
bye, guys.